Hello and welcome to Soups and Sabers. My name is Jordan. With me, as always, for Peacemaker is Chris. How are you today, Chris?
I'm doing well. You would think after a show called Peacemaker, you'd be feeling a little more peace, but that was something. We have a lot to talk about. I'm super excited and just glad to be here.
And we have special guest here with us today, Richard Nebens of The Direct and Agents of Fandom. How are you today, Richard?
Thank you guys for having me. It's great to be here. Been looking forward to this for a while.
Yeah, Ron usually goes out there and makes all the connections for us. So I know he's been in touch with you and
Yeah, he's
getting you
been
on the
great.
show. Yeah, so thank you for making time for us today.
Of course, yeah, glad to be here. I mean, I love talking movies and especially Marvel, DC, anything along those lines. So no, this is gonna be fun.
All right, so I got a couple questions for you to help people that maybe if they're not familiar with you or just like don't know this side of you for stuff. But let's go ahead and say, what is your favorite DC Comics movie?
DC Comics movie. I mean, there's been a lot of good ones. Shout out to the recent Superman movie. I loved it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's probably going to be a chalk choice, but I think I'm going to have to say Dark Knight. Dark Knight is
I
like,
thought you were gone.
yeah, I mean, not just one of the greatest superhero movies I've ever made, but just one of the best movies of the 21st century. I mean, Nolan, Christian Bale, Heath Ledger, I mean, put on easily the best Joker performance we've ever seen. I mean, R.I.P. Heath Ledger. But no, that movie was just something special. And and to think about like 2008 back in the day, that and Iron Man coming out in the same year, I mean, just next level stuff for the superhero genre.
Yeah, it was also kind of like almost like the start of the MCU, but almost the start of the decline of DC for a while. Because then, like Dark Knight Rises was later, and then after that, they really struggled to
Green Lantern,
Green Lantern, yeah, they really started struggling to make the impact that Marvel did. But for before Iron Man came out, it was all DC when it came to movies, except for like the Spider-Man trilogy,
right? Some of the
X-Men. Some of the X-Men, they never made like the money that like the MCU made, but yeah, they were popular for a bit.
Definitely.
How about your favorite? Is your DC favorite hero? Is it Batman, or do you have is that another chalk choice for you?
Yeah, I usually am torn between Batman and Superman, although one of my favorites recently has actually become Harley Quinn, just because of the animated show is one of my favorite pieces of superhero media that I've ever seen. It makes me laugh every single episode, and I love comedies and R-rated stuff and stuff like that. Like for example, Marvel, Deadpool's my favorite hero. So no wonder I kind of like the Harley Quinn series. I mean, that just makes me laugh every single time. But there are so many DC characters that I love and that I just can't wait to see done right in the movies and TV shows moving forward.
Here's my favorite question. This is one that I've started asking recently that I think really illuminates who you are as a person, what you enjoy.
All right.
If you could vacation anywhere in the DC universe, where are you going?
Vacation anywhere in the DC. I mean, as much as I would like to say Gotham, I feel like that's just a really, really
bad choice,
dangerous choice. I'm not sure I'm going to make it out of that one alive.
Nobody said Gotham yet.
Yeah, I can't imagine so. Themyscira would be pretty cool.
Oh, we've had that, yeah. Somebody said that.
I feel like that would be kind of a fun location. Metropolis, I mean, I'd love visiting the Daily Planet just because I'm a journalist and I would love seeing, like the cream of the crop in terms. Yeah, Lois, of course. I mean, shout out Rachel Brosnahan, I think my new favorite Lois Lane. I think either of those couple, Themyscira or Metropolis, maybe anywhere with Green Lantern stuff would be pretty cool. Now there's a lot of options.
I usually like the option of I say like Metropolis would be cool, like just to try to catch a glimpse of Superman. That kind of be my goal there. And then also Central City. I really like the Flash Museum. I'm a history major. I think museums are great. So I would love to visit the Flash
That'd be
Museum.
cool. Yeah.
All right, I guess let's get into the show here. We are talking, of course, Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 1, The Ties That Grind, written and directed by James Gunn. It premiered August 21st, 2025 on HBO Max. This it's been a while, right, Richard? It's been 3 years.
3.5 years. Yeah.
I don't blame him though. You know, there was the fact that he was starting a whole universe, took over as CEO, and made a whole movie and an animated series in the time. But I'm hoping if there's a season 3, it's not 3.5 years away.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely hoping so. I remember one of my dear friends in this business, Liam Crowley from Screen Rant. He had interviewed Cena at the premiere, and he was talking about like how long it's been since we had gotten season 1 of Peacemaker between now and season 2. And Cena just said that he just talked to James Gunn, and he just said to be patient with him, and you know that they're going to get this thing off the ground, they're going to get it going right. And I mean, shout out to both of them for being so patient and making this thing work within this new DCU that's building. I mean, Creature Commandos and Superman were both, I think, great for me personally. And Peacemaker season 1 is one of my favorite DC properties I've ever seen. Honestly, I thought they did an incredible job with season 1, and you know, season 2 kicks off with a bang, and I've been very excited to see where the rest of it goes.
Yeah, Chris, how was the wait for season 2 here?
I mean, I had so much distracting me along the way that I was fine. But like we had a whole, like you said, once James Gunn was announced as him and Peter Safran heading DC Studios, I was just like, okay, I'm good with anything. I believe in the mission. We're good. Before that, it was like, okay, I could use some more content. Now I'm just like, I'm being nourished. Everything I'm getting is feeding my soul. Kind of like what Richard said. I just think this has been great. Creature Commandos hit wonderfully for me. We've talked about that on the show. And you know I love the Superman movie, so I can't complain about a damn thing yet. And I'm actually almost anxious to complain about something because I feel like a shill. I've come off as a James Gunn stan. I was big on the Guardians. He just happens to be my favorite filmmaker right now. So I'm very excited about the other DCU projects, but this one, I didn't really wait for it. I just was like, okay, it's here. I'm
snuck
cool.
up on you. Okay.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Yeah, this is one of the first things I covered here on the podcast. So like this podcast started out as 3 separate podcasts. We had a Star Wars podcast, The Pod Awakens. We had a Marvel podcast, To the Infinity Saga and Beyond. And we had a DC podcast, Elseworlds. And Elseworlds is the youngest of them. And I think the first things I covered was like Fandom 2021. And then, or 2020, I guess, whatever year that was. And then Zack Snyder's Justice League and the Suicide Squad. And then, of course, Peacemaker was not long behind those. And then, you know, I covered Black Adam and all that kind of stuff. But then, like, it's crazy to think that Peacemaker was, 3.5 years ago, because it's flown by for me. But also, later that year is also when he was hired as the DC CEO. It's already been that long. It was October of like 2022.
Yep.
So, I mean, like, that really threw a whole shakeup in it at that point, because it was already renewed for season 2, I think, before he even took over the job. So, like, we knew the season 2 was coming, and then that kind of threw the whole wrench in it. And we get here now, and they are, everybody's question going into this is, how does this fit into the DCU? What's canon of season 1? What's canon of this and that? And to that, I say, one is we're the nerds. We're the ones that care about that kind of stuff. Like, I'm sure there are people that watched this previously on the DCU and did not realize anything changed. The casual, like,
the general
grandpa
public
that loves watching Peacemaker probably has no idea that anything changed. So let's talk about it. There was a previously on the DCU intro here, and a couple things get changed. We get Adebayo asking Waller to call in the Justice Gang instead of the Justice League. Simple. It looked like some just ADR there or something.
You should have seen my smile when that was the solution. I was just so happy.
And then we had the Aquaman joke and maybe the Green Arrow joke kind of gets changed into a Green Lantern puking joke.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Justice League scene at the end is changed into the Justice Gang. And we get to see, I have the picture here. I'll share it as we're sitting here. But we have Mr. Terrific, Superman, Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, and Supergirl, who I was actually shocked to see in this. Richard, were you shocked to see Supergirl hanging out here?
I definitely was. I mean, like when they said the Justice Gang, I mean, it was no surprise that the main three from Superman were there, even Superman himself. But seeing Supergirl there was definitely interesting. And I remember I wrote this article the other day on somebody asking James Gunn on Threads, like, if Superman and Supergirl are part of the Justice Gang. And I guess he said that they work together sometimes, but they're not like an official members of the team.
Yeah, he said like just like the movie Superman works,
exactly.
Works with them.
Yeah, but it definitely gets me excited for Supergirl. I mean, the fact that, like, besides all the Peacemaker stuff, the fact that this is going to be the first Supergirl movie we've had in over 40 years, literally the first Supergirl movie since I've been alive. It just gets me crazy excited. I think Millie Alcock's going to do a fantastic job with the role. I'm really excited for that. And side note too, we missed Jason Momoa in this one, but he's going to be coming back as Lobo in Supergirl, which, I mean, I don't know how you get more perfect casting than Jason Momoa as Lobo. I think that's going to be an unbelievable experience, and I'm really excited to see what happens with Supergirl.
Just the fact that he's like excited about being Lobo too is really
He said this was his dream role.
I mean, like that's what he thought he was being called for instead of Aquaman originally. He said,
and I liked him as Aquaman. I thought he did a good job, but seeing him take on something this crazy, this wild, count me in.
Yeah. Chris, were you shocked to see Supergirl floating here?
I was surprised that Mr. Terrific wasn't on the ground. I was like, it's
I kind of like that.
It works. It makes the image look more balanced. But I was like, you don't really need to be floating on your little chair there. But and like Hawkgirl's even on the ground. I thought that was funny.
True, yeah, she could have been fine.
But yeah, Supergirl being in there is cool, and I'm really excited about Supergirl. I've been very open. I love Woman of Tomorrow. I'm really excited for a somewhat adaptation of that, and I was so happy at this moment when James Gunn shows us this. I'm just like, okay, we're fine. It was pretty easy, pretty seamless. I was happy because it was like, I don't have to go through the episode to figure out what's canon, what's not canon. They took care of that problem right away. So I think Supergirl being there is seamless. I think you have a bit of a Justice League starting to form here. I mean, you got core elements, you got two supers, you got a Green Lantern, you got a Hawkgirl. Mr. Terrific could be part of the Justice League. I'm totally fine with that. That guy's awesome. So I'm just like, bring on more, get a couple more, and get like a original 6 going. The DCU's original 6. I'm excited to see who the other 2 members are. Maybe it'll be Peacemaker. Who knows?
Yeah, they're being in some trouble. Peacemaker is one of the
founding
members of the Justice League.
It might be spelling out some trouble.
I was shocked
to see
Supergirl.
Joke.
Yeah, I got it. I know. I was shocked to see Supergirl, just because we didn't really know how long she's been around. So, obviously season 1 takes place a couple years ago. People trying to work out the timeline of season 1 here, and you have, I guess, at that point, we don't know where Supergirl has entered. So this is like, Superman has made himself known for 3 years, is what we know from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is probably in year 1, maybe here for Superman that he's approaching here. And, Kara's already, or Kara, however way they're going to say it, is here for already on Earth, probably within year 1.5 of Clark's journey as Superman. So that's pretty interesting, because we only saw her for 30 seconds in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Long enough though to trust him with his dog. So that is like, they do have a relationship. So that was like it's not like they've just met each other either. But it's nice to see her kind of included in that she's like a well-known hero. That was kind of one of my questions coming from the movie because of what we know from what Jor-El apparently sent him with this mission, and nobody really questions in the movie like, oh, is Supergirl part of this mission, or is she actually part of his harem or anything like they don't ever really question that in the movie. So yeah, just kind of was wondering how that was going to work out, but glad to see them in this. They replace the puking thing for Green Lantern is like the fish fucking thing for Aquaman, where he gets a chance to kind of shoot that down, and instead of Ezra Miller laughing, it is Hawkgirl laughing in this moment. So I guess, do we want now that they filmed some of this stuff, do we want like a DCU cut of season 1? Do we want that somewhere online or available for us so we can just edit this? I know there's probably fans editing this stuff in and doing their own fan cuts, but James Gunn did say he kind of wants to George Lucas it at some point.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm okay either way. I mean, I think James Gunn said he's not going to do that just because of the millions and millions of dollars it would cost. Yeah. But I mean, it'd be funny maybe like down the road, maybe if they like the timeline that they used for Star Wars, how they did it, maybe 10, 15 years down the road. But I'm good with it now.
I do think they could do most of it with just what they put here and removing some of the stuff from the podcast where he's like, well, we don't know if Flash or Wonder Woman are active right now. So you just cut out those jokes in the episodes and then you just stick this in there and boom.
Yeah. They could probably do it mostly with ADR, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you probably could. Yeah. But yeah, interesting that's his thing. He also answered a great question. I want to share this here. Somebody's asking, because I always see people mention this, like, oh, the Flash reset the DCU and creates the DCU. James says that, one, none of these things really exist because it's a movie, right? It's a show. But if one wants to pretend it's real, the second option is closer. And that second option is that the DCU is very, very close to the DCEU with just some slight changes. And that there are infinite amount of timelines. The DCU timeline is almost exactly the same as Peacemaker season 1 with very, very minor differences. I think it's fair to say a lot of aspects fit in even less with the DCEU than the DCU. So season 1 is kind of an outlier to begin with. So I think that was a very good answer for people that are kind of confused about it that way.
I think people want to make this harder than it is.
Exactly.
And think that's going to like phase out in like 2 weeks. No one's going to be talking about that.
Yeah, once like the third and fourth episodes come in, and the first one gets further back in the past, I don't think people are going to be really worrying about it more, except for like the diehard Snyder fans that are all over Twitter, and but that's its own thing.
And even then, just like also
so many of them.
Yeah. Even then, like the diehard DCU fans too, that are just like worried about continuity. It is very like it is such a thing now where everybody's always worried about canon. So much so that people know what that word means. Like when I feel like I'm still probably the only one in my family that understands what that means, but my parents have no clue what I mean when I say canon and what's not canon and stuff.
Yeah.
But, I grew up with the Star Wars canon where we had G-level canon, which was all George Lucas's stuff. And then you had the other tiers. And, but yeah, most people know what that word means now. And it's kind of like, wow, because every show has some sort of canon and people asking questions about lore. It didn't used to exist.
No, it is a crazy era we live in. Really, a lot of it because of the MCU, because of just how expansive and massive that universe is now. I mean, we're literally coming up on almost 40 movies in the MCU and a good like 10 or 15 Disney Plus shows. And and just because we've had probably 3 or 4 different DC universes in that same time, I mean, between the Nolan stuff, the Snyder stuff, and now the Gunn stuff. And all of them have been like quite popular in their own rights. And that's where DC, I think, is really trying to like streamline this and mainline this thing moving forward, starting with Superman and Peacemaker and Creature Commandos and everything, where now they get their own singular universe where everything kind of exists in one thing, which I think is pretty cool. And it's been a long time coming for DC.
Yeah, I mean, we used to have TV shows like Happy Days where Chuck went up the stairs and never came back down, and nobody asked really questions about that.
Right.
So I do think there will be people that just kind of roll with this as we go, because
Totally.
The main thing will be for people that catch up later and just like binge it all, and they'll be like, "That's kind of a strange jump," if they don't understand.
Yeah, the backstory behind it.
Yeah. Okay, so we start out with Peacemaker now lives in his dad's house. And Eagly, it's snowing outside, wants to go out and fly. Chris wants to open up the quantum unfolding chamber to let him fly instead because it's too cold. As a dog owner, I totally understand.
Who wouldn't do this? Who would not make this decision?
Don't we all wish we could have a quantum unfolding storage area?
Of course.
For this exact purpose.
Yeah, and I would have like you know how like sometimes people on their deck have those fake grass things for dogs to pee on? I would have that right outside as soon as I open up the...
Oh, right outside the door. Yeah.
Yeah. My dog would love that.
Do your business and let's go back in.
Make a whole
Well, my dog won't go in the rain. She won't even go out in the rain.
Same.
This would be perfect.
Yeah. But Eagly doesn't return and is instead knocking on another door. And that is where it leads to another... Peacemaker sees that the keypad is kind of similar to the one that he had. He decides to enter in the code. It opens, and it is his dad's house, a nicer house, a very nice house, who is alive. And he, asks Chris what he's doing, and he just runs back. Oh, wait, we get the new intro of Foxy Shazam's Oh Lord. What is our thoughts? Chris, we'll start with you. Thoughts on the new theme song and the new dance intro?
I think it is unfair to watch this the first time and have a reaction of it, because the second time I enjoyed it much more. I was like, there's so much, it's a new song. And I knew what song it was going to be. So I just heard the song, but it was all this anticipation. It wasn't fair to it. The second time around, I was like, you know what? That really works. And I'm sure it's going to be thematic to the show as it goes forward, like Do You Want to Taste It was. Yeah. So I'm totally in for it. I think you have the other dimension characters in there. You had Peacemaker and just regular Christopher Smith.
Yeah.
That was a cool touch. And I think at the end when they're all falling into each other, it's like just unawkward enough to work and awkward enough to be funny. And it's like, and the Eagle is just like, sure, I'll get on top of this. Why not? I liked it. I didn't love it the first time because I was comparing it to Do You Want to Taste It? And that's not fair.
Yeah. I know Ron is not a big fan of the intro on his first watch. We'll see how that changes. I kind of had to mentally prepare myself for it because I do think Wigwam's Do You Want to Taste It is just so iconic. It went viral. But they were going to have to change the dance anyway because so many of those cast members are no longer in the show. Like the cops that were in it, the neighbor to his dad and all that stuff. They were all in that intro and are, they would have had to substitute them anyway.
We're probably not seeing the janitor. Yeah. We thought about that at the same time.
But the difference is, I think that, when you also listen to James Gunn's podcast about this, and he's, the Do You Want to Taste It was thematic to season 1, and it was, character growth for Peacemaker. Then it also takes a darker turn in the finale when Do You Want to Taste It is like playing while they are saving the world, awesome, and Harcourt's tasting blood, and she's coughing up blood and stuff. But this one I do think is already thematically, a lot of the lyrics about keep on keeping on, like that's kind of what we're seeing Chris is doing in this episode, where he is already at this point kind of going through the motions, I would say. He's having trouble adjusting. He wants to be a hero, but nobody's really taking him seriously, which is where we'll pick up in the 6 months later. But Richard, your thoughts on the theme song and the new dance sequence?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, season 1 was just so perfect to me that I'm not sure anything could top it.
Right.
But think about what you guys said. Yeah, I mean, I liked the new one, enough. It was good. The song is good, and I thought the dancing was great. But it does get me curious to see how it kind of fits into the rest of the season. I still have a few screeners to watch from the screeners that I got. As I have through episode 5. I've only seen through episode 2, but no, I am curious to see if it actually kind of fits into the story of the rest of the season more as we get more episodes and as we get more story added to it. I mean, it was great. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but I'm just not sure if anything's going to top season 1 just because of how incredible that is. I mean, that thing was every single week. That's like one of the intros that I never skip when I watch Peacemaker season 1. There's about 4 or 5 like shows that I don't skip the intro for, and Peacemaker season 1 is one of them.
I'll say this, I never skip the intro to any show because I have this weird, I guess because I grew up in the, part of us is we grew up in the era where you couldn't skip anything. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
But it was kind of part of that, like
it's part of the experience.
Part of the experience of sitting down, like if I was sitting down to watch Friends every Thursday night when it was on with my family, that was part of it. You get hyped like, oh, there's the cold open and now we're into the theme song. And, you do the hand claps and all that. Like it's the experience. And it is kind of that, like, I will say, when I first saw season 1's, I think I saw the Twitter post, like how James Gunn shared the full thing
right
of this one the same day as well. People did that for season 1, and I think I didn't watch it the first day. I think I watched it the second day that it premiered back in season 1, and I saw that out of context, and I thought it was funny, but I was kind of like, oh, I don't know. I don't know, like the song's good, but like the dancing's kind of awkward and interesting. But it's throughout the season that then you really start to love it. And sometimes it has very different tones because you're coming from a very like haunting thing, like when Chris is reliving the death of Keith, and then you go into the theme song, you're like, it's not as joyous today when we're watching it. But I think we'll get there with this one. It is just I would say maybe a little it's tough to top, right? Like I feel like the other one is just so iconic. It's gonna be tough.
And you didn't see the first one coming. The surprise of the first one.
Yeah, we all knew there was gonna be a new one.
Yeah. We all
so,
we've known there's gonna be a new one for months, and we've all just been like waiting for it with bated breath.
It's one of the main things you talk about with the anticipation of the show. So it's never gonna be fair. It's not a fair fight.
Exactly. Season 1 is always going to be its own thing, like on a completely separate plane.
So then we get 6 months later, and Adebayo's picking up Chris to take him to his Justice Gang interview. And we also learn that since she is not able to work in any of the alphabets, the same as Harcourt here, she's starting her own like security company. But we also get a little hint here that she has not talked to her wife for quite a bit. They're taking some space. Apparently she doesn't, I guess her wife was not a fan that she is doing all this hardcore shit, right? Or something like that is what she says. But kind of interesting because I feel like season 1, we really ended on this montage of them two kissing in the hotel room, and then we had also seen Harcourt and Chris getting closer together in that montage as well. And we kind of pick up here, and things are a little bit more shaky on all of these. Everybody is separated at this point. It's kind of like another James Gunn project when you start out with the Scooby-Doo movie. And the mystery gang is all separated, and they're starting to come back together again.
Which shout out those for being the best possible live action Scooby-Doo movies that we could have gotten. Funny, actually, quick story about them. I went to theater camp with the kids of the guy who directed that movie, Raja Gosnell.
Whoa!
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Southern California. They were awesome. I love their whole family. And when I realized that James Gunn was the one who wrote those movies, I was like, of course he did.
It makes sense. Oh my God, it makes
so much sense.
My cousins are big Scooby-Doo fans, I'll say. Like, I love Scooby-Doo, but they were like hardcore Scooby-Doo fans. and they would just walk around the house constantly quoting the "I can look at myself naked" that Fred does when he's in Daphne's body.
Oh my god! Yeah, my wife is a diehard Scooby Doo fan. We do that stuff all the time. Why couldn't they just go to like a Burger King or something?
Right. Well, you know, we're getting the Netflix is doing some sort of live action.
Yeah, some sort of remake.
So we'll see how that is. But this Justice Gang interview is at a Cranks Toys, and this had kind of leaked ahead of time that we were getting White Rabbit. White Rabbit appears here in her fully comic accurate White Rabbit costume. People thought this character is never getting adapted in live action. Of course, leave it to James Gunn to do so.
Yep. I mean, who thought Peacemaker would be a household name 5 years ago?
Right.
So I will never put anything past James Gunn in terms of adapting characters.
But I thought this was a great moment here with White Rabbit walking out, and Chris goes in there. He's interviewing with Maxwell Lord, Hawkgirl, and Guy Gardner doing the interview. We find out that they've actually been looking on the West Coast, which Maxwell Lord says has been an absolute wash for them. They aren't taking Peacemaker seriously. We learned that they didn't take White Rabbit seriously. And Guy Gardner did not take setting up the mic situation seriously. So
leave it to Guy Gardner to screw that up.
Everybody can hear what's going on. The line that absolutely killed me, though, is when Sean Gunn is saying, I said camel toe like 30 times.
Hey, the reason that's funny is because that is what like you would say, and like that's your reaction you would have. Like he's like literally feeling bad because he was an asshole.
Yeah.
He was an asshole, but he didn't know he was being an asshole. So he's just like, I said it 38 times.
Right. Oh my god.
And then Guy and Hawkgirl talking about their butts, and it's like, oh come on.
Yeah, we find out Guy Gardner has a very flat butt, supposedly. It's like a line.
He does. Shout out Nathan,
ridiculous.
Shout out Nathan Fillion for bringing like every bit of ridiculousness that he could to that role. I mean, I saw something that he was the one who advocated for the bowl cut too, which it was just
he really gets the character. It's not that it's that hard to do, but there's a nuance to it that makes it work, and he's got it. It's like someone else could do it. It could be like a parody of it almost.
Yeah, there's a line between like doing the character right and making it a total parody. Yeah.
I'm really excited to see him in Lanterns because that's probably going to be a totally different tonal shift for him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see how he plays on like a TVMA. Well, this is TVMA, but I'm thinking that one's not going to be as raunchy as
he did say he gets to drop a lot of F-bombs in Lanterns.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess like it won't be as much. Like I don't think
it's not going to be as juvenile.
Lanterns, but
there's not going to be like the full frontal nudity that we saw in this episode.
Yeah,
right. But it'll be more like True Detective, right? So like that is it's vulgar, but it's not like silly totally. Like this. Yeah.
Speaking of the frontal nudity, I was amazed that people cared. I was like, it's 2025. The world is like falling apart. Like, don't you have more important things to worry about than this? Like, it's like if it was rated PG-13 and this came up, I understand the.
It wouldn't be
Yeah,
PG-13.
there's no way it could be rated PG-13.
Yeah, I mean, but people are acting like, oh, this is like the worst thing ever. I can't believe it was approved. I'm like,
Deadpool and Wolverine made $1.3 billion last year. I know it didn't have any nudity in it, but I mean.
It could have. It was rated R. I mean,
but exactly, it could have. It did drop 120 F-bombs.
Right.
People are used to R-rated movies.
Exactly.
In the comic book movie world, and like, I mean, yes, this was a lot more like blatant. I think that we've seen from any other project, but it's not completely like out of left field.
And I didn't think any of it was offensive either. It was like it was just there.
No.
Like Christopher Smith is like. They say free spirited, but like he's just a whack job. This is the kind of thing that he would have happen.
Well, what I really liked about it, so this is gonna sound weird. It's like, oh, you liked an orgy scene, right? But it's like what I really liked about this, as we get to the scene here, is he does the cocaine. So this is right after him and Harcourt have that discussion at her house where, they're both asking like, how'd your interview go? But like he's really there to kind of talk more about their hookup that they apparently had a few days ago on the party boat. Which she calls a mistake and a fuck up. And he kind of takes offense to this. He walks out and leaves. And we see him do I think he starts with like pot, which he had also smoked in season 1. And then he makes the way to cocaine, which says for a rainy day. And then he has the orgy. And if we kind of juxtapose this to season 1, where he's upset and he goes back to his trailer and has the marijuana. He actually has the 3-way with Vigilante and the girl from episode 2 that lived in the apartment that he like took hostage for a bit.
Her boyfriend.
And that like helped him kind of feel better, but none of this is working now, right? Like the cocaine doesn't work, the pot doesn't work. The orgy he's not into like at all. He's sitting there clothed while everybody else is getting it on.
And he's completely numb.
They're trying exactly. They're trying to pull him in.
Get inside. Yeah.
Yep. They're trying to pull him in and it doesn't work. And the only thing that can work is the quantum unfolding chamber. It's kind of like that new drug. And it's going to be probably something that he becomes addicted to going back to, because not only does he find for the little first tease, right, is that his dad's alive. He knows that. And he sees the top trio wording, right? Like the top trio
on the paper. Yeah.
This time when he goes there during the orgy, he goes and sees that Keith, his brother, is alive. And I feel like that's going to be kind of the big crux of why he continues to go back, is because it is this relationship where he had accidentally killed Keith, obviously.
That and his relationship with Harcourt on the other side.
Yes, we'll get to that part, too. But I think that is another option. He's like, I can have it in this world, and I can also have my brother, and my dad likes me. Like, it is like a trifecta for him.
And his dad is a completely different person. Like, he shows him love and affection.
Maybe, we don't know.
He showed him physical love and affection.
Yeah,
like, he rubs his hair. He has taste. Like, what the heck? Augie has taste? What?
Yeah.
Well, he apparently tasted some imp jizz as well in his cereal.
Yeah, like he still got some of what made him Augie in the main timeline, but it's like he's so much more like civil and toned down, and he's got like a sense of love to him. Like
he's not afraid to say like I love you, right? I think he says it as well,
something like that. Yeah, like, I think both him and
in season 1 when he finally kills his father. You're like, finally, good. Thank goodness somebody killed that jerk. And this one, you're like, there's a character here. It's like, oh my God, there's a character here. I need to know this character
underneath everything.
Exactly. Yeah. He's not just this racist piece of shit that we know of.
Right. We don't know yet.
Know?
We don't know that yet, right? Like I saw somebody theorize that the alternate universe is like Nazi America, and that is why they're so famous as the top trio. Now I don't know
that I want that.
I don't know if that works, I guess, because Keith was not like white power, right? Like when they show him rocking out with his brother, he was like, fuck white power, this is
exactly
like the rock symbol and stuff, and
punk rock or whatever.
So I do think maybe it is more Augie is like just a nicer person.
Much different.
And James Gunn, obviously, like somebody asked him if that was Robert Patrick in the White Dragon outfit on the theme song, and he said there's no White Dragon in the theme song, because he's got the blue head instead. So I do think maybe he's not racist, right? Like it might not be like a Nazi symbol over there.
Yeah. So no, that's going to be really interesting to see like how that character evolves over the rest of the season in this alternate universe thing.
Yeah. And
I'm a little surprised it took him 6 months to go back. I he was that probably would be like a thing in your head.
Yeah, true. I think it may have been like the catalyst of the hardcore stuff that made him realize, like, he maybe, like, it sounds like they were still connecting at that point, and when she kind of really shuts him down here, he's like, I need to get my fix from somewhere else,
from the other world.
Also, when we're in here, we got some nice DC comic nod as well. Here we have the top trio defeats the rainbow creature, which was a nice little nod here. And my favorite one here, which was the top trio saves Gotham from the Ultra Humanite. I love Ultra Humanite.
Yeah, they're getting some deep cut DC stuff in here, and I love that James Gunn knows how to do that so well.
Yeah, you know, if there's somebody that's going to mention Ultra Humanite, it's definitely James Gunn and Rainbow Creature, right? Like, those are just
same guy who mentioned Batmite in season 1.
Right, right, and Kite Man in season 1 as well.
We had Polka Dot Man as a main character. I'm a superhero.
Ratcatcher, yeah, like he knows all those. But yeah, so we get a really nice conversation with Keith as well here, where they're connecting, and he actually gets to say I love you. And just shout out John Cena for absolutely crying on command here as soon as Keith walks out the door. Like, he has improved so much from season 1 and the Suicide Squad.
I've never thought John Cena was a bad actor, but you can see the tangible improvements in his work.
100%.
From season 1 to season 2. Like, he is really digging into his craft, and I think he's done a fantastic job with this role. Like, you could see the improvements from the Suicide Squad to Peacemaker season 1 to here, and like more from season 1 to here than anything else. I mean, I cannot give him enough credit for the work he's put in on this character.
Yeah, he gets to explore his room, and we get some alternate posters here. My favorite one as a Def Leppard fan here is the "Pour Some Honey on Me."
Right?
I did a double take on that. Yeah, that was a
little back to the future nod.
Yes, yeah. And then Hanoi Rocks. I think they spelled it with 2 X's instead of
CKS.
Yeah, CKS. So, yeah, so just some really cool alternate posters. That's where we get the other Peacemaker, who immediately fights him. I kind of get that. He's in your space. He wonders if he's a shapeshifter.
It's very Christopher Smith of him, let's be honest.
It is.
But once he gets to the quantum unfolding chamber, wouldn't you maybe like stop chasing him? Like, you realize, oh, that must be another me. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, he dies.
He does. I would say, I mean, the fight between them, I mean, just brutal stuff with those stars going into his back. I mean, oof.
Yeah, magic stars, right? That are able to like
chase him on their own. Yeah.
I can't wait to see all those helmets. I just can't wait. That's the ultimate tease. I'm like, okay, so what do they all do?
Yeah, do they have any, Richard, do you think there's any more scabies helmets in this alternate universe?
I'm sure they have something at least equally or an increased level of ridiculous in this. I mean, after the sonic boom helmet and the anti-gravity helmet and human torpedo, I mean, I can't wait to see what this other Peacemaker has in mind.
Yeah, I kind of want to know what like a maybe non-messed up Augie Smith is able to work on for the helmets, you know,
like it's still brutal based on like the flying ninja stars and everything, but I feel like it's gonna be a little more like superhero-esque rather than like just totally brutal and like just trying to kill everybody.
Yeah, so he accidentally pushes the jetpack button on the alternate Peacemaker, and he gets impaled by.
Was that accidentally on? I took it as on purpose.
I think he may have purposely did the jetpack thing, but I don't know if
maybe not trying to stab him on the roof.
Yeah, I don't think he knew the thing up there was
right there. Yeah,
right there.
I could see that.
I thought he was surprised that he hit the thing. I thought he was trying to get him off him with the jetpack.
That was probably
that's probably what it was. Yeah. He ends up impaled, and that shocked me really. Not so much that he died, but just like I was expecting that fight to go on a little bit more, and then when he just gets impaled by that, I was like, shit.
Right.
Well, this is why James Gunn is actually really good, because when they open the pocket dimension, one of the things you see are the spiky things on the ceiling, and like you set things up, not necessarily like hey, look at this, but like you see it. So when you see it later, it's not, oh, that was convenient.
Yeah,
It was, that's part of the world.
He does a great job of like setting up those little tiny details that you wouldn't like think about otherwise.
Right.
But it connects the story, like connects the dots really well.
Yeah.
Hardcore diagnosed with toxic masculinity, as she is not able to work in any of the alphabet departments either. Chris, you want it to not sound like a shill. I know there's a scene here that you're not a big fan of. So talk us about the fight in the bar. And,
all right. So
here's your chance.
There's a few reasons I didn't like this. The first reason I didn't like this is we've seen her fight in the bar before. We know she's capable, but it's just, it wasn't a new flavors. The second reason I hated it is it's like she's miserable. She's seeking misery. Misery loves company. She wants to hurt others. She's steering right into the toxic masculinity diagnosis in the first place. I just thought that it was I thought she was a character who was pretty tough and developed psychologically. And I think this is a character that was broken, that was looking to be broken physically. Like I thought there was almost a self prophecy in there, and I just wanted to shake her out of it because I thought it was dumb, and it was just needlessly violent. I thought it was needlessly gross, and like she went to the worst dive bar you can imagine, the most disgusting people you can imagine, and then they just flop her down, bloody face, like just be like, I hated it. It was like trauma porn or something. I don't know. It didn't connect with me in any way. I thought they could have done a similar thing in a way that I didn't hate so much.
Well, I'll defend it. I'll be the shill here, okay? Because I really like this scene because I think if you compare it to the scene in season 1, episode 1, it's a nice juxtaposition. So it's almost exactly the same setup. So where the person is kind of hitting on her and she makes a comment and it starts a fight, but she's a little bit more harsher to this guy than I think she was in season 1. And it's, I think, because she is looking for the fight, right? She's looking for the fight because she is frustrated. Not only did she just push Peacemaker away, who was probably one of the only things really going for her recently, but also because she helped save the world as well. She's kind of going through the same arc that Chris is here, where it's maybe she doesn't want to be seen a hero, but she feels like she should be getting more work at these places because she has saved the world. But instead, she is getting constantly
shut
shit,
out,
from the
thematically
other because of Waller.
Yeah.
Right? Because of Waller. And it's also like the whole point of the Project Butterfly, right, was because she was getting shit from Waller too for ignoring Waller's orders in the Suicide Squad. So it's been like this constant trajectory downward for her where she keeps kind of digging a hole for doing the right thing and she's not getting appreciated for it. So she starts taking it out on this guy. She picks the fight to take out her frustrations. And it's kind of like the dashboard when she was punching the dashboard.
I like that part. I don't want her to not have the aggression. It's just I thought this was. I think psychologically she's a level above this.
Right. But what I'm saying is she's pushed to this point, and the dashboard was not enough for her, so she escalates. She escalates here because
it's definitely escalated.
She's definitely asking for it. Like I think she's definitely that was an intentional putting herself.
You also get a nice juxtaposition to the finale of last time when she is on the floor, bloodied, and the camera's going up, almost like when she was got shot in the finale of season 1 as well. So
I think it was thematically in line. I think I have a hard time with seeing characters choose to get themselves beat up. Like as a guy who overthinks everything, beats himself up, is hard on himself. It's just psychologically, I have a hard time watching that. I also thought she was a little murderous with the cue ball, with the pool ball, throwing it. Like I was like all of a sudden that she kills somebody in there. It's a different scene. It just I thought it was just a little over the top. I think you could have gotten a very similar result with a better scene. It is my one complaint. I loved everything else about the episode.
Yeah.
And I don't think it didn't work thematically. It didn't work for me personally, which is as far as a complaint as I'm going to make. You know,
That's totally fair. I get what you mean.
All right, so Richard, you're the tiebreak vote here. What's your thought on the scene?
You know what's funny? I think it's going to remain tied because I like you guys said. I understand where it goes thematically. I think it fits with her character. I think it fits with where the storyline has gone from the end of season 1 to the start of season 2. But yeah, I mean, part of me does feel like they maybe didn't need to go as brutal. I mean, they got plenty of other brutal stuff in the rest of the show,
Right.
in terms of violence and action and everything. I could see where people maybe didn't like as much the over the top violence and just her like diving headfirst into this situation where she knows that's going to happen to her. But I do understand it. You know, it's going to be a good starting point for her for this season. See where she goes from here.
Which, Chris, you referenced earlier that when he's looking through his room, he sees Keith originally said, like, I think you should get back together with your ex. We see the picture of alternate Harcourt with alternate Peacemaker. Keith also throws the line here that Harcourt's now with that Jughead. Chris, what do you think? Is this Rick Flag Jr. her new boyfriend?
I took it as Rick Flag Sr., but that makes more sense. I was like, her and Frank Grillo would make some sense. I was thinking Senior, but because I know he's on the show. But yeah, if you want to get the other actor in there, Joel Kinnaman, this is the way to do it.
Well, I think it would be really interesting to have him almost have
go
to
up
fight
against
Rick
the guy
Flag
he killed
again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Demons, yeah.
And also his demon of like, oh God, I killed that guy last time.
While on his earth, Rick Flag Sr. is out to get him because he killed his son.
Right.
So it would really tie this into a really tight triangle.
Yeah.
Especially if you could have Rick Flag Senior go into this alternate universe and come face to face with his son. Maybe understand why Peacemaker is drawn to this. Because their whole point right now is they're getting the anomalies, right, from 6 months ago and from when this happens, and it matches the energy of the event in Metropolis. So they're worried about it splitting like in Metropolis.
I got so happy with the anomaly thing, and this is probably not going to connect with anybody else, but like an anomaly. I was like, we're watching an episode of Legends of Tomorrow. This is great. We have to fix the anomalies. I love it. Like I was just like it struck a little pang in my heart for a show I missed. But it makes sense with this what just happened to Superman, that they're going to be really into this pocket dimension stuff.
And there's also the fact too, like thematically, but for Peacemaker, he had to face his father and his brother, who both of them he killed, either on purpose or accidentally, and then he kills himself at the end of this first episode. Like, I mean, they're already setting up that this season is going to be like traumatic on a psychological level for Peacemaker. I mean, why not keep going with that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've heard people say you can let us know when you watch your screener. But that season 5, episode 5 is like almost like a season finale feeling. And James Gunn, and I think James Gunn said that like, he hasn't shown anybody 6 through 8 yet.
Yeah, he said that.
And I think Steve Agee just said that it feels like a totally different season, 6 through 8, like a totally different season of the show. So I'm really curious on where they go with this.
I can't wait to see.
I think season 1 was about Christopher Smith, Peacemaker, figuring out his baggage with his father and putting that aside. And I think this is about putting aside his baggage with himself. And I think that's going to be more traumatic because you can't blame anybody for that. You can't, there's no easy button. This is your fault. There's no, I was a kid. just the dark thoughts in your head, and when you killed your own self, when you're stealing a life basically, and you're balancing between your life and the fake life. I mean, it's really the battle of humanity, the ideal self versus the real self. And as a psych major, guy got his bachelor's in psychology, and now I'm like going into teaching. Like I'm so in love with the psychology of the show, because I think it's really good. That's another reason I was disappointed with the Harcourt scene, because I thought the character growth, she's gone a little bit further than that. But
well, yeah, she's going backwards. That's
she's taking
well, yeah,
that's
sure.
part of it.
Yeah, no,
she's
absolutely. I was like, I thought she was a little stronger than that. But I loved what they're doing. I think they're setting up I think this show is going to wreck me every single week. This must be how girls feel about Grey's Anatomy. I don't know. I I can't wait.
What do we make of Rick Flag Sr.'s character so far? He's been in every project. He played the hero role in Creature Commandos. He plays I would say, like, not a villain. He is very sympathetic to Superman in
like a supporting
in
antagonist.
Superman. Yeah, because he's when everybody's kind of pushing back on Superman, he's the one that stands up and says, like, he stopped a war, Big Blue stopped a war or whatever. And then he's also the one kind of saying, like, I don't want to do this, but they just voted to give you over to
I think
Planet
he's committed
Watch
to his job. I think he's committed to his job, but he's a good person.
Yeah.
But in this one, so far, he's going to be probably more straight up antagonist because of his beef with
Peacemaker.
He's got a blind spot. Like, this is go back to psychology. This is a blind spot. He can't see any. The second you say Peacemaker, he doesn't see anything but his dead son. That's all. That's all he sees. So he's got a blind spot. But I think he's a good person with a commitment to a job that makes you do questionable things sometimes.
Yeah.
And we saw in Creature Commandos, it's like he's trying to stop them from killing the princess because he's pretty sure that they're wrong, and he goes off his intuition. He doesn't just.
He was a little blinded there too, right? The princess was.
But that's what blind spots do to you.
But yeah,
that's what blind spots do to you. Like, he just.
Yeah.
It's important. I like what they're doing with Flag. I think he's going to be a central character. I actually would argue he's too central. But I feel like once the DCU branches out, it'll just be like, oh, this is his pocket, and the rest of it, he's not in every single project.
I guess I've seen some people say he's inconsistently written so far, but I think it's just that we're seeing different facets of him in different roles.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right? Like, as a main hero in Creature Commandos, we get to see him more in that positive light. In Superman, it's more of he's kind of on the other side here because of his job. In this one, it's going to be a little bit of both. He's on the other side because of his job, but he's also on the other side because of his the fact that his son was killed. But I do think ultimately we might end up with, like I said, maybe some sort of understanding because of maybe he gets to see some closure with his son in the alternate universe, or he understands now why Peacemaker would be so willing to risk it to keep going back there because of his loss. And he'd say, if I could go back there and see my son all the time, I would totally do that as well. So I could see where maybe he would be understanding of it. No, go ahead, Chris, because I was about to change the topic. So
in Creature Commandos, he's a camp counselor. He's in charge of the Misfits.
He's overseeing all
and
the
officers. And in Superman, he's like a government cop. In this one, he's a guy with a vendetta. It's 3 different roles for the story, but he's the same person the whole way through.
Yeah, for sure.
I also did like, just to go back real quick to Chris killing the alternate Peacemaker. Glad it was an accident, because there was a lot of people theorizing from the trailer that, like, he just likes this other Peacemaker's life so much he kills him and replaces him. I'm like, that doesn't really feel like our Peacemaker at this point after his growth. So
no,
the fact that it's accidental and now he can kind of take advantage to live in that life occasionally, I think is a really, really good choice.
not like he wanted to do it, but he does see a good opportunity to maybe correct some things that
he's like, why not? Now that he is out of the way, I will.
Exactly.
I loved his acting in that moment because we were talking about his growth as an actor. I think that's where you see it most. He's in shock. He's in shock. He's just like I'm processing this moment. He's not taking the next steps. And I feel like bad writing and bad acting would have just been like, ha, now I can go to that world.
Yeah. Now I still think he's going to go back to our world. He's going to, maybe start telling. I think Leota's going to have to. We didn't talk about Economos yet, but Economos is tasked on watching him, and he talks to Adebayo and airdrops the photo of it to say like, hey, can you ask Peacemaker about this because I can't be caught talking to him.
The first thing you're going to see is him getting rid of the body the way the alien showed him to.
Oh, maybe. That's interesting.
The alien showed him how to get rid of the evidence. It's one of those little things that comes up. Now Richard's seen episode 2, so I might be wrong, but
yeah, I mean, you definitely see the aftermath of that.
Okay,
pretty quick.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we'll have we have to have Economos who's kind of tasked on this. Adebayo's probably going to bring it up to Chris, and I guess he'll tell her the truth, or and say, "Hey, my life is awesome over there," and kind of keep flirting with going back, and something maybe the fact that Argus is after him makes him maybe fully capitulate over to that world for a bit. But yeah, so I think that's most of the characters. We did get to see a little bit of Adrian in one of my favorite scenes here, where he calls up Economos apparently every day, and
quiz me about owls, bro. Quiz me about owls, bro.
I know a lot about owls. Quiz me about them, and gets the first question wrong.
He plays.
How could they be tubes? How could they be
plays
tubes?
Crazy so well.
Oh, yeah,
and the fact that he wasn't the original cast member for it too is mind-boggling.
Yeah, I mean that feels like that role was made for him.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's really makes me wonder, like, if we even have a season 2 if we had the original actor, because that's something that when you look at it, sometimes all those little ingredients make the show what it is, and something wasn't working. James Gunn realized it and made the change. And the fact that he was the same height as the actor because they couldn't make a new suit, we're very fortunate that it all worked out the way it did.
That's life working out, man. Sometimes things just happen the way they're supposed to happen.
That's pretty solid. Yeah,
it doesn't happen enough, so let's just enjoy it when it does.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we got to see a little bit of Adrian there, but yeah, not much of Adrian yet in the show. I'm assuming I do like that we got to see every character, though. It wasn't like even with that little scene there, it's not, like some shows, especially like Game of Thrones, that sometimes you'd be like, oh, we didn't get to see Ned this episode, and it'd be because we're so focused on the other characters. This premiere, we got to see every single person, even just for a little bit.
Yeah. The only one we really didn't see was Judo Master, and I'm like 99% sure he's coming back at some point this season.
Yes,
but even that, like we got basically everybody in the main cast, which was great.
All the 11th Street kids were in the episode.
Totally.
All right. Any other things that we need to talk about that we didn't bring up, or any theories? Maybe not so much on Richard's side there. Chris, any theories about next week?
I've learned with James Gunn shows to stop predicting things, because he always goes in a way that makes sense, but it's not the way I would go. And I'm going to not make a prediction here, and I'm just going to say I'm going to like it. That's my prediction. My prediction is I'm going to like the episode. I think we'll see more than the other world. I think we'll see more of the other world, and it'll be a kind of a him trying to shoes out,
Yeah, there's a lot that gets followed up on from episode 1 and episode 2, but that's all I'm going to say. And I can't wait to see. I can't wait to check out 3 through 5 to see how else this thing keeps going, because from what I've heard, it gets pretty crazy over those 3 episodes.
Wow, I can't wait.
Can't wait. They did release some stills for next week, so it does look like the 11th Street kids do get their like rooftop or like whatever
They
on
showed
the
that in the
deck.
trailers.
Yeah, where they're like drinking beer and stuff, so having a good time. That's what I want to see. I don't know if it's them all coming together now or if it's like a flashback as we kind of start figuring out more stuff of what happened, but very excited to see the core group together again and get that scene. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Definitely.
Okay, well, Richard, thank you for coming on. Do you want to share where people can find you on social media and all of your work?
Yeah, no, thank you guys again so much for having me. Social media is easy, just my name, Richard Nebens, at Richard Nebens. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, pretty much all the socials. You can find me writing pretty regularly for direct.com, and I'm on a lot for Agents of Fandom too on our podcasts and writing stuff there. I have a cool interview that I did recently up for Agents of Fandom with the executive producer and head story writer for Iron Man and His Awesome Friends. It's a new Disney Plus Disney Junior show from Marvel, so that's really cool. And then I've got some cool stuff coming out from the direct in the next couple of weeks, and just looking forward to seeing how this year ends. Seeing the rest of Peacemaker and getting a lot of good stuff for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I'll have to check out the interview because my son is now 13 months old, and I've been trying to get him into the Amazing Spider-Man, like the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun for kids that age. And
it's still a little too old for him, maybe. Like he's still in the Clubhouse era for Mickey Mouse. But
fair enough.
But now that they have the Iron Man one, and they're supposed to be making like an Avengers type.
Yeah, that's supposed to come out in 2027.
Yeah, I'm excited that he'll have his own little MCU to watch.
My niece loves Spidey and Friends, like just loves it.
Yeah, and the guys from Iron Man were great. They were so much fun to talk to.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Here on our podcast at Supes and Sabers on all of our social media handles, we have Peacemaker right now. That's kind of what we're focusing on currently. I have a little side project that I'm working on that'll be coming out. But yeah, so that's what we got coming out here. Thank you all for watching and listening along, and we will catch you next time when we talk episode 2.